Morning, everyone. I want to talk about the word deen in Islam. We call Islam a religion because Christianity is religion. However, Islam calls itself a deen. You'll even see the word in use in Muslim names like Salahuddin, the very famous Islamic general from the Crusades era, which means the prayer of the deen. You'll see names like Saifuddin, the sword of the deen. So a deen is a socio-political system. This would be a totalitarian socio-political system on par with communism, fascism, and similar. However, let's have a look at where we're going to get our information from. We will be using two very well-known Arabic dictionaries to source our information from. The first is called the Lisan al-Arab, known as the Tongue of the Arabs, completed by Ibn Manzur in the year 1290. It is 20 printed volumes in the most frequently cited edition, and it is the best-known dictionary of the Arabic language, and also one of the most comprehensive. Ibn Mansur compiled his dictionary from a number of other sources. An interesting note is that Lisan al-Arab notes its direct sources, but not or seldom their sources, making it hard to trace the linguistic history of certain words. Interesting to note regarding that is that Arabic derives a number of its words from languages that arose prior to it. So in this list, this is available on my community page. You can scroll through my community page, you'll find this, and I'll drop a link in the description. Now, this list dates to 1938, so it's a little bit out of date now. These numbers would have changed somewhat, and in fact, the Ethiopic, more words should be reserved for the Ethiopic, which would take it above the Greek. So you can see here we've got Syriac, you've got Aramaic, Hebrew, Greek, and Ethiopic. Ethiopic words outnumber Coptic words, for instance, by 20 to 1. So it's very interesting that the Lisan al-Arab does not include the history of those words and where they're derived from. The other source dictionary is the Al-Qamus al-Muhit, compiled by Muhammad bin Yaqub al-Firuzabadi. So let's have a look. He was able to combine the contents of the three most prestigious dictionaries which preceded him. So he took out the many references and quotations from classical poets and other extraneous information, which is typically found in larger dictionaries, to make his dictionary as concise as possible. In this one-volume Arabic dictionary, Firuzabadi was able to include 60,000 entries, a huge number when one looks at Ibn Mansur's Lisan al-Arab, which is many times greater in size, but is only 20,000 more entries. So the Al-Qamus al-Muhit was a quick and reliable reference, and it gained immense popularity amongst Arabic students, which it enjoys till today. This in turn led to major commentaries on the book, the greatest of which was Al-Zabadi's Taj al-Urus, which later became the main source of Lane's lexicon, which is why Lane gave his dictionary the Arabic name Mad al-Qamus, or the extension of Al-Qamus. So those are the two dictionary sources which will be used to derive the information that we're going to show you today. So a deen is a socio-political system. It is not a religion. As I've said, it's akin to communism, fascism, because it is totalitarian. Right? So deen embodies perspectives on existence, life, society, and it is a socio-political system, meaning it covers the conduct of society, civil law. It covers politics. It even covers warfare. Islam is a complete and competing ideology and a system of life and society. It is a political, ideological, as well as legal system. For Muslims, Islam emerges as a superior ideology, towering over all the other isms like capitalism and so on, and the resultant socio-political systems like democratic systems. To them, this is the most incredible system, the most complete system, the most moral system, the most perfect system. Of course, one of the main issues that Muslims have with Islam, one of the weakest areas that they see, is how Western countries, Western nations are simply superior in terms of technology, societal development, and so on. Deen is a political framework for managing mankind's affairs, from the religious to the social to the legal to the political to the military. Linguistic meaning. The famous classical Arabic dictionaries Al-Qamus al-Muhit and Lisan al-Arab state that there are four meanings of deen. The first is subjugation and dominance, which includes ownership, government, administrative or legal authority. So legal, legislative, this means the ability to pass civil law. Understand that Christianity does not pass civil law. Jesus did not mandate civil law. The New Testament is not the basis for issuing parking tickets. Whereas the Qur'an does claim to speak for the law of Allah. Obedience and bondage, subordination and dominance under the power of others. Subordination and dominance. So in other words, we must be subordinate and they must dominate. We must be under their power. This means it is totalitarian. Rules and regulations, doctrine, ideology, tradition, and notice it says here, or religion. Or. So religion is something that can be represented by the DEEN. It is not necessarily represented by the DEEN. Reward and repayment, which includes justice and accountability. Let's have a deeper look. In the first meaning, this is subjugation and dominance, being ownership, government, administrative or legislative authority. The first meaning is subjugation or dominance, administrative or legislative authority to put pressure to be obedient, or using power to enslave or make one obedient. As I said, it is totalitarian. In Arabic, Tentuhum Fadanu means I subjugated them, so they obeyed me. Let's have a look at the word subjugate at Merriam-Webster. Subjugate, verb. To bring under control and governance as a subject. In other words, to conquer. To make submissive, to subdue. Obviously, this tells us that they have to use force to subjugate. Conquering done through force. Let's continue with what this means for us. So, I subjugated them. I conquered them. I used force to subdue them, so they obeyed me. Also, Tentuhu means I ruled or governed upon him. So this means political leadership. This means the use of power in a political position. Now again, Christianity is about a personal relationship with God. It is not about subjugating and dominating other people politically or militarily, using politics to subdue others. Thus the word Dayan is used to indicate a person who dominates and rules over a state. If you rule over a state, that is political, that is based on government. So understand, this is entirely a completely different concept to what we view as religion. Number 2, obedience and bondage, which includes subordination and dominance under the power of others. The second meaning is obedience and bondage, subordination and domination by someone and bearing humiliation under subjugation and power of others. The obedient tribe is called Qamun Dayinun. Here, al-Din does not mean religion. It means obedience. Shut up and obey. Hear and obey. We hear that term from Muslims. We hear and we obey. This is a Quranic command to them. So understand, it does not mean religion. It means to do what you are told. Meekly, submissively, subserviently, and just do it. Again, that is a completely different concept than what we mean by religion. This is a totalitarian political system. When we look at the breakdown of the categories within the definitions of the word deen, we have the following: ownership, government, administrative authority. So possession is 9/10 of the law. We hear that term. Well, so the first is ownership, possession, 9/10 of the law. This is legalities for a court system. This is a legal system. Government, this is politics. Administrative authority, this is control, social control of a nation. Again, politics and government. Legislative authority, passing laws, legal system. Subordination, totalitarianism. Dominance, this is not about loving thy neighbor. It's about dominating and subjugating, controlling, using force. Doctrine, ideology, tradition. And then at number 10, we have religion. So religion is only the 10th priority within Islam. Then we have justice and accountability. Understand, religion is a very, very tiny part of what Islam is. So if religion is only 10th in the list of priorities, and religion is 2, 3, 4, 5% of what Islam is, The smart thing to do, and what we are doing as a Western society and what Christian apologists are doing, is focusing 432% of their time and focus on number 10. They are focused here, we're all focused here on number 10 and ignoring 1 to 9 and 11 to 12. This, of course, is called being smart. So remember, when religion is the 10th priority of Islam, focus 100% of your attention here and ignore the rest. Just completely and utterly ignore the rest and claim that it is irrelevant. Excuse my sarcasm, but unfortunately this is the situation we do find ourselves in. By the way, there's some Hebrew and Jewish origins to these words. Deen means law in Hebrew. Islam is the Deen ul-Haq, meaning the truth or right, the correct, the true religion. By implication, Christianity is the Deen al-Batil, the Deen of falsehood, the vain religion, the useless religion. And also, this word is the same word as the Jewish haq, or statutes. Statutes, again, would be laws, legislation, right? These are statutes on the law books. So haq comes from haq. Taken from the Jewish, it is plagiarizing the Talmud. Remember, the Sharia is the Islamic Talmud. All right, so thank you for your attention. I will leave this here. I hope that was enlightening, and see you guys next time.